In the heart of way 70, back with another EP. And y'all do your boy a favor, y'all roll on in, y'all smash that like button. You know what I mean? So I'm here with a story that I've been following, you know what I mean, for a minute now. About a couple of days ago, I did a video, where I told y'all what Eddie Hearn had said. Eddie Hearn had said that him and Keith Thurman, were looking into, making a fight. And Mo Hooker will probably be, a plan B if they couldn't get, Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? So apparently the Keith Thurman talks fell through. Eddie Hearn said Keith Thurman was standing firmly, on his price of, 10 million. Said that he was standing firm, he wouldn't budge. Keith Thurman has been standing on this 10 million, for a few years now when it comes to, certain fighters. He didn't ask Mario Barrios for 10 million, but that's a subject for another day. But the rumors was, Keith Thurman, Mo Hooker, and Chris Eubank. Now, Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr., have a history. They have been, had a bit of a rivalry for quite some time now, going back and forth. There was a time where Chris Eubank had offered Conor Benn a fight at a catchweight. Conor Benn obliged him, and then Chris Eubank later, went on to fight. I forgot exactly who the guy is at 160, but he went on to fight a guy at 160 in his last fight, which I'm gonna tell you about soon. You know what I mean? But we got Conor Benn. We got Conor Benn, who's let me go so I won't mess this up. We got Conor Benn, who's 21-0 with 14 KOs. He's coming off a KO against Chris Van Hearden. Eddie Hearn had promised us, big news was good, just do. MP, what the fuck? Appreciate y'all sliding through. Eddie Hearn had promised us, big news about Conor Benn. Now, a lot of people thought maybe it was Keith Thurman, Conor Benn. You know what I mean? But Chris Eubank, was always an option. But Keith Thurman had looked like the front runner. But of course, it didn't necessarily happen that way. But we ended up getting Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr., at a catchweight. Originally, when Chris Eubank Jr. said this, it was right before Conor Benn's fight with Chris Van Hearden. Conor Benn went in there, he knocked out Chris Van Hearden. And after Chris Van Hearden's fight, and we're going to talk about it, Alex. After Chris Van Hearden's fight, Conor Benn said, you know what? He said this on Twitter, and I saw it because I was there for it. He said, Chris Eubank said, calling me out in the catchweight fight. Let's make it happen. And then Conor Benn waited. Right, up until Chris Eubank Jr.'s fight. He sat and he watched Chris Eubank Jr. fight. And Conor Benn was good, AB. Appreciate you sliding through this, John AB. He sat and watched Chris Eubank Jr. fight. And after Chris Eubank Jr. fight, Conor Benn posted to Twitter and said, I fancy myself in a fight against Chris Eubank Jr. And that's when Chris Eubank Jr. had said, I'm not worried about Conor Benn. I want to fight somebody at 160. But now, we fast forward to this. Eddie Hearn had promised us a big fight, with Conor Benn, a big name fight. Again, the rumors were Keith Thurman. You know what I mean? But the fight ended up being Chris Eubank Jr. October 8th, Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn is official at the O2 Arena in London. Yes, the O2 Arena in London. We got a blast from the past. You know what I mean? Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Two, y'all these the daddies, went down in that epic UK battle, of heavyweights, Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Sr. You know what I mean? We got the second coming of this fight. It's going to be at a catchweight of 156. What's good, Mr. Pat? Appreciate you sliding through. It's not a rumor, Brody. October 8th, Brody. October 8th. Y'all gonna be hearing about it pretty soon. This breaking. I'm telling you, TB breaking the news. Some people don't. It ain't for everybody. It's for Tito. TB breaking the news. October 8th. Believe me. Especially when I'm following the story, I keep you updated on, what fights, they're looking like, type deal. This is one of these stories I've been, telling you. And we here now. Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. Now, again, I just told you they got the date set. They got the venue set. They got the catchweight set. They're in the closing stages of this deal between Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. This fight right here is as good as done. Everything is good as done except what wait. Nah. The saying is, what's the saying? Everything is good as done. We just waiting on the ink to dry. That's the saying. We just waiting on the ink to dry on this motherfucker. That's what we doing. Vaults UK was good, pimp. Appreciate you sliding through this, John Vaults. Glad you can make it. Y'all do your boy a favor. Y'all jab that like button for your boy when you roll on in. I came in this thing to tell y'all that Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn has officially been set October 8th at the O2 Arena in London. You know what I mean? This is not a drill. This is coming straight, from the UK. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna necessarily tell y'all my sources, but it's coming straight from the UK. So y'all could be looking. Out. You know what I mean? For this fight, Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. And this fight has been a long time coming. And I want to be the first person to give Conor Benn some credit on this fight, especially if Conor Benn is to win this fight. Alex Alberto G has said earlier that Eddie Hearn is taking a real chance at making this fight. Eddie Hearn really is taking a real chance at making this fight. You know what I mean? Eddie Hearn is possibly his biggest or one of his biggest, attraction in this fight against a middleweight. Conor Benn has never had a fight at middleweight, you know what I mean, in his life. Conor Benn fights at 147. On top of Conor Benn fighting at 147, right? Conor Benn is a small, 147. He's not the biggest guy. Conor Benn is like 5'8", you know what I mean, or something like that. So he's not even the tallest or the biggest guy at 147. Now you're talking about sticking him in there, you know what I mean, with a middleweight. I ain't gonna lie, y'all know I'm a Conor Benn fan, so I'm excited about the news. I ain't gonna lie. I like seeing, my favorite fighters. I like seeing my favorite fighters, take on challenges and take good fights. Chris Eubank, to me, I don't think Chris Eubank is a world beater by any stretch of the imagination. No, he's not. But Chris Eubank is a middleweight. Chris Eubank, is a much bigger guy than Conor Benn. I think this is a great fight. And actually, just my first look at it, my first looking in at it, seeing both their last fights. Now, I know it's weight classes for a reason, right? But seeing their last fight, I think Conor Benn may be the harder puncher, or out of these two. I think Chris Eubank Jr. is kind of in an identity crisis right now. He don't know whether he's a puncher. He don't know whether he's a boxer. His last fight, he was punching on the guy, and then he slacked up, and then he started, boxing the guy who I think he could have knocked out. But I think he was too afraid, to commit to Chris Eubank Jr. Conor Benn has been showing he's been ever improving. He's been an ever improving fighter, type deal. His last two performances has been highlight knockouts, Algeria, Chris Van Heerden. You know what I mean? Maybe this fight, maybe this fight will give. Now, he didn't come over here and fight in America like Eddie Hearn and them had said originally. You know what I mean? But maybe this fight will give people, what they want with Conor Benn. Let's say Conor Benn go up here and he beat this guy at 156. You know what I mean? Maybe this will give people, maybe this will be enough for the people, from Conor Benn. I could see how bad Conor Benn was his first 10 fights, and I can see how much progression Conor Benn made from fight 11 to fight 20. You know what I mean? And in fight 21, when Conor Benn fought his first ever left hand, I'm telling y'all, because I know I really do this. I see this. He in his first fight ever, Conor Benn just fought his first southpaw ever in his last fight, is what I'm trying to say. And it took him one round to adjust to that southpaw, and after that, he proceeded to knock that southpaw the fuck out. Now, I know it was Chris Van Heerden, but Jerome Boots Edens also fought Chris Van Heerden. You know what I mean? They both did what they supposed to do. They both got. Well, Boots didn't get a knockout. He was about to knock Van Heerden out, and Van Heerden saved himself. So I give Boots that knockout, you know what I mean? But, they both did what they supposed to did, you know what I mean, in that fight type deal. So I'm highly interested to see exactly how Conor Benn handles himself against this middleweight. You know what I mean? Extremely exciting fight in this October. So, we ain't got to wait too long for that. Again, y'all see these big fights are starting to get made. These big fights are starting to come out. And I'm going to tell y'all something again, right? Y'all know this. Now, this is just me, knowing a little bit. And this is, you can know this too if you paying attention, because a lot of people do pay attention to this, and you don't got to be plugged in to see this, right? Let's just kind of, pay attention to the fights, right? Conor Benn just got his fight day October 8th, right? Boom. Y'all notice how Conor Benn and Errol Spence always fight around the same months. in and around the same months. You know what I mean? At least lately, Conor Benn and Earl always fighting in and around the same months. Conor Benn just got his day October 8th. I told y'all Earl Spence Bud gonna happen October 29th. You know what I mean? So again, that's what I mean. But that's a certainty, for another day. What's good on commentary? Flousty Sports TV. Appreciate you sliding through this joint. As that brother said, has no body fat at 6'8". Hope he doesn't harm his body getting down to the catchweight. I don't give a fuck about none of that. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about none of that. I hope Conor Benn don't harm his body by going up 11 pounds to fight in a division that he never seen. Chris Eubank, he think he a boxer any fucking way. Like he ain't. I don't see Chris Eubank. He not a big guy. Chris Eubank always in shape to me to go from 160 to lose 4 more pounds. You know what I mean? That's not. That's easy. That's like a piece of cake. You know what I mean? To go from 160 to 156. You know what I mean? That's 4 pounds. I'm also worried about how Conor Benn go adjust from going from the smaller weight up to a bigger weight because it's weight classes for a reason. A lot of guys, weight drain down 30, 40 pounds, you know what I mean, to get to a smaller weight class. I feel like that's kind of weak. Chris Eubank is barely fat because he's draining himself down to be a middleweight anyway. You know what I mean? So that'll just be, that shit finally catching up to him. You know what I mean? And he probably doing it for the money. So what's more important to you know what I mean? Your body, quote unquote, which I don't think will be a problem because Eubank ain't an old dude at all. He's a young dude in his prime. When you that young, you can do whatever you want to do with your body. How old are you, Alex? 25? You can do whatever you want to do with your body. You know what I mean? At this point, you can be as big as you want to be. You can be as small as you want to be. You know what I mean? That ain't going to be that's more a problem for older people. That's not a problem for 20-year-olds. You know what I mean? That's not really a problem for 20-year-olds. The biggest problem in this fight gonna be Conor Benn adjusting to that middleweight weight, adjusting to that going from 47 to 56. I think in this real it's a risky fight for Conor Benn. I ain't gonna lie, but I'm interested to see exactly what happened. What's good, DP Rocker? Appreciate you sliding through this joint. You know what I mean? But we got Conor Benn 21-0, 14 KOs. Chris Eubank Jr. 32-2. 23 KOs, you know what I mean? Scheduled to be facing off in the bout October 8th at the O2 Arena in London. You know what I mean? So y'all be on the lookout for that. This is official news. This is not a drill. You know what I mean? Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn being targeted for October 8th at the O2 Arena. You know what I mean? It's claimed the deal is done and the pair is fighting in the catchweight of 156 pounds. You know what I mean? And that came from, this article right here came from the Daily Star. You know what I mean? The Daily Star covers, all UK sports and UK boxing. You know what I mean? So there you go. There you have it. Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. If you don't believe me, maybe you'll believe, the Daily Star report. You know what I mean? So appreciate y'all folks sliding through this. I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Here for a good time, not a long time. Skin the Hardaway Southern Tea. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But this the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love. But before I slide up out of here, I got to hit y'all with the... Appreciate y'all folks sliding through this. John Skin Hardaway Southern Tea. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. But this the present. That's how we rocking. and I'm out. Look.